Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Talk One podcast. Today, we are going to discuss about how do we monetize generative AI-based systems, and this is a classic debate. I have also covered this about a year back, where I discussed about whether ChatGPT would ever take over Google search. That was the primary thesis, and even from that perspective, now that I'm covering it again, the reason for that is a lot of people think that they are using ChatGPT nowadays to conduct searches as opposed to doing it directly over Google, and it is giving them a leg up. But if you see the facts that Google has simultaneously increased its revenue over the last year, even its profits are also growing. Meanwhile, OpenAI also claims that they are doing a 10 billion annual recurring revenue, which means even OpenAI with their solid product that is ChatGPT is also growing leaps and bounds. But having said that, can we say that ChatGPT is a replacement for search? Many people are saying that, but then on the other hand, many people are also not saying that. Has it impacted Google in any material way? Well, I would say that if you see the number of searches conducted across ChatGPT versus like Google, you would see that uh, you know ChatGPT is not even 1% of what searches are done on Google. So from that perspective, basically there is no comparison between the two, right? You have billions and billions of searches happening on Google, whereas you have few millions happening on chat gpt. That's first fundamental truth. But is players like Google, Microsoft, Meta, are they concerned that startups like Anthropologic or OpenAI or other startups that are in the frontier AI model space are going to challenge them? That fear is true, and that is why you see a lot of investment in AI. More recently, we have seen a lot of questions around wherein Mark Zuckerberg has been hiring for their super intelligence team, and the rumors are that he's offering $100 million in sign-on bonus for these top researchers who is poaching from Gemini team or OpenAI teams and other world-class leaders that are there in this space. So we'll have to wait and watch and see how that goes, how his super AI intelligence team basically comes through. But for now, it's like payday for all these researchers who can basically make the moolah while it lasts, right? So you never know. Is this the hype that is driving these kind of salaries, or this is going to be sustained? I doubt it will remain sustained, but for now, that's what the truth is. So first of all, we need to understand that today, when we see Chat GPT, right, they make money through a subscription. uh, Interesting point is that the subscription is growing for ChatGPT as well, wherein people can easily pay $20 per month and start using the systems, right? But apparently, that is not enough to fund the entire project of ChatGPT or the frontier research that is happening in generative AI. Right now, pretty much all the big tech companies that have made these frontier models are all kind of loss making, because it is involving huge amount of compute, huge amount of electricity that they are using right now, and so far they have not been able to successfully monetize it. And there is no current model just through subscription that is enough for sustaining it. In fact, there were certain suggestions that when Microsoft launched the Copilot, again based on OpenAI GPT models. Even there, they were saying they were charging $20 per person per seat, and they are basically spending close to $30 or $40 per thing per usage. That was the claim. We don't know how true or accurate it is, but at the end of the day, it was loss making for them. Let me read the message from Rasmus. So I just returned from work. All this AI is causing a lot of fatigue in most provider and consumer side of AI. You are very right, Rasmus, because this AI frenzy, especially generative AI, ChatGPT, LLMs, etc., has been going on for almost 2.5 to 3 years now. We are in the third year in making. Initially, there was a lot of hype around it and a lot of hope as well. A lot of money has been invested, startups, big tech, etc., and that resulted in booming stock prices of all the big tech players who are investing in the AI space. We also saw meteoric rise of startups that are kind of in the space of generative AI. And over the last 1.5 years, it has become abundantly clear that the results of implementation of AI are pretty mixed actually. Many companies went all the way saying that they are going to let go of their human resources and install AI agents and agentic AI to solve for them. But apparently all those knee-jerk reactions, they are having to uh, basically they are in a situation where they have eggs on their face. So I remember Klarna was one of the companies that they said they are letting go of all their agents, customer support agents, and they are going to replace it through agentic AI agents. And recently, the reports are coming back that they're trying to hire those human agents back again. And then there are a couple of other areas also where there were a lot of misplaced optimism about AI taking away the jobs and trying to do the work automatically. Uh, so far, those results have been very, very mixed. In fact, many places where companies even took on those kind of challenges are having to scale back because those systems are not working. So let me read another comment of Rasmus says, for context, I work for the AI data center company. I sit and solution with startups on how to use these GPUs, H100, H200, etc. While there is a lot of excitement, productive production ready use cases are far and few. Absolutely right. That has been my experience as well. So you will see a lot of POCs, you will see a lot of prototyping going on, but when it comes to productionizing those use cases or actually implementing it for D-Day or enterprise use cases or even consumer facing use cases, you don't have many successes to show for. And it's already been 2.5 years, and that is why I caution a lot of people that while in the future, of course, if the pace of innovation continues, things definitely are moving in the right direction. We may find a stage wherein you have lot more people out of job because the productivity of existing staff members would increase quite considerably, and it will put the dent into the employment scene. But as we speak right now, when the companies even say that my 30% of the code or 25% of my systems are being written by AI, that cannot be further away from the truth. Fact of the matter is, the real place where I have seen uh, generative AI really playing a role is improving the productivity of individuals. Maybe if it is very well coordinated and orchestrated, it can even improve the productivity of teams. But we have not seen like solid examples or solid metrics around like the team productivity increasing so much that they can measure that an earlier team which was delivering X now delivers X.2 or 2x or 3x or 4x, something like that. So we haven't seen those kind of examples, though logically, if you think, it may seem if you are able to improve the productivity of each person in the team by 10 or 20%, then overall team productivity should increase by 10 to 20%. So it remains to be seen whether we arrive at that metric, or do we really see those gains. And the second fundamental point is also, we don't know yet whether the cost or the price of leveraging generative AI will continuously keep going down. As you just pointed out rightly, you have these GPUs, that these H100s and S200s and other GPUs that are out there. These are very complex hardware, very pricey hardware, and all these data centers require a lot of huge cooling cost as well as power to host these kind of models. So who is going to pay for that, right? Unless this cost continuously keeps going down and you're able to make money through these models when they're put in production, then you can justify these costs. But all if we are doing is just experimentation, some POCs and prototyping, then it has to die. Actually, you cannot keep funding infinitely something that does not produces returns. That's the big question mark right now. So let me talk about monetization a little bit, which is what the topic of this talk was. So think of it like this: if I talk about search, which is by far is a very large scale infrastructure, right? So you have Bing, you have Google, Yahoo, etc. All these companies have implemented search engines, and they have to write crawlers which basically go and basically scrape the internet. Pretty much all the AI companies are also now writing crawlers, because they also have to ingest the data across all the internet, whether it is image, text data, audio data, etc. So all your OpenAI, Anthropic, AWS, Microsoft, Meta, Google, Apple, everyone is basically crawling the internet to get more data and train their machine learning, or LLMs as they call it, right? Today. So the way Google monetizes their searches through ads, we all know that, right? That's the biggest advertising company. So in a search, when you basically are searching certain thing, you get a SERP page. So that is the search engine result page. That's what it is called as SERP. And you see that in addition to the logical or the organic results, you also see text ads that show up across search on the right hand side, as well as certain ads are embedded within the search results itself, right? That's a traditional model through which Google monetizes it, and it works fantastically well for Google. They're making tons of money, etc. Now, with ChatGPT, you do not have multiple results that come through, right? You always get one answer. So the question is like, can you even monetize this through advertising? Answer is yes. So nothing stops you to embed ads within that one search results itself. In fact, whenever you are in the window of ChatGPT, when you have opened it up, you can put ads in the top, on the border, on the bottom, as well as the result itself that you get. You can embed a lot of ads inside that. So recently, OpenAI made a like a commercial hire. Uh, I forgot the name of the person, but you can check it out. And that person used to basically run advertising and things along those lines in their previous role. So I think even OpenAI is also started thinking in that direction, that ad will be their holy grail. Subscription itself is not going to fund the entire business, so they need this advertising monetization scheme as well. And nothing stops Google to do the same as well, right? So Google already has an advertising engine. All they need to do is that in their result. So basically, if you use their AI mode, they have this mode in Google. You can sign up for that. Always, the first result that is going to come up will be your generative AI, result, and the remainder, results that you get are regular search results. So Google has already embedded their LLM or the Gemini engine behind their search engine. So you get the power of both. You get the one single result that typically a chat GPT will produce, and following that is your standard results that are coming out there, right? uh, so let me read another comment by Anandhar. I always miss your live stream. Glad that I joined today. Thanks, Anand. I'm happy to have you on board here as well. I hope this live stream also does justice to what you believe in. So primarily, if you see the chat results from ChatGPT versus if you see the search results from the Google, what I'm trying to say here is that going forward, you can see that even ChatGPT will introduce advertising, and nothing stops them to basically bombard the entire ChatGPT experience with tons and tons of ads. I myself have worked in the advertising industry, so I know all these tech players are very clever and they know how to embed ads in the overall experience, that sometimes you wouldn't even know these are ads before you basically look them very closely. So the notion that chat gpt will eat up Google and all, I think is not true. It definitely is going to be a good option for people, and it is already there. A lot of people use that, but it is not going to be a replacement for Google. It can be considered as a addition to Google. People use it as a complementary tool, right? In addition to that, I would also like to share that in Google, when you do a search, right, Google directly gives you the source or the reference from where the result has come. Whereas in chat GPT, you do not have that option. You just get one result, and sometimes you're not even sure where this result has been cooked up. There is another big difference. The result that Google shows, it can be incorrect, it can be correct. But in chat GPT, the result that is shown is a generated result. So it can be non-factual result. That means this result never existed anywhere. It has been cooked up for you and only you. At least in Google, the result can be incorrect. But even if the result is incorrect, it is still a reference to something that has been published somewhere else. So Google does not manipulate the results. All it does is ranks those results, but those results are authentic results as published by the publisher or the author of those results, right? So all you see in Google pages, let's say 10 results are there. None of these results are generated by Google. These are just referenced by Google and shown you as it is. At most it will do is it will summarize those results. That part could be there, but you still have the reference. You can go and see the details. But on chat gpt side of things, you do not see those things. So that's another issue that chat gpt has, which is what we call as hallucinations, which are like quite abundant. And even with last 2.5 years of working, these hallucinations have not gone. These are like part of the design. You cannot eliminate the hallucinations. That is why all these LLM tools are highly unreliable. If you put them in production environment, you don't know what kind of results they are going to generate and what kind of issues it can have. So let me read another comment, Rasmus. On monetization, the frontier model companies are discovering that promise of labor reduction is failing. Now they want to feed on the traditional search, keep afloat when the hype lowers. Yeah, you are right. Lot of these companies who have been spending tons of money to propagate these frontier models are still like looking for like corners. Where do they monetize it? How do they make sense of it? In fact, if you see, this brings another interesting point that uh, Microsoft and OpenAI are having their own differences now. In fact, Microsoft is like Satya Nadella specifically is now looking for shelter because they did not invest in their own frontier model. They were too reliant on OpenAI, and now OpenAI wants to go their own separate way. They no longer want to continue to support Microsoft. So in that sense, while like 2 years ago, Microsoft was looking like the goat in the AI race because they tied up with OpenAI early on, and they seem like they have launched Copilot, etc. But if you see in the production side of things, Copilot is not even equivalent to ChatGPT. In fact, a lot of engineers do not want to use Copilot. They want to rather use ChatGPT even for coding or other tasks that they're doing day to day. So it may also be seen that the whole thought process around like chat gpt taking over the entire world, or llms be the the real go-to place. Even Microsoft is having difficulty in telling their shareholders like how will you monetize it, or when will it become profitable. In fact, there is another race going around for agi, and every year one of the founders will come and say that we are near to the agi, or it will eliminate all the jobs, etc. All these seem like snake oil salesmen actually. So all the predictions, including whether you talk about Elon Musk or Sam Altman or other players also in the field, they have been making huge statements around by end of this year all coding will be gone, or by end of next year 90% of the automation will be done, etc. But when you see it on the ground, already 2.5 years have passed. Materially nothing has changed on the ground, except for the fact that the layoffs are continuously going. And as I've conveyed in multiple of my previous podcasts, these layoffs are not necessarily because of AI that we see right now. In future, yes, in next 3 to 4 5 years that could be true, but as of now it is not. AI is not replacing the people who are being fired. The people who are being fired are just fired. There is no work that somebody else has taken over. These fired people were doing. Most of the time, the existing staff members are taking more workload, or those projects are completely getting killed. That is why those layoffs are happening. There is very little or zero correlation between AI and the layoffs, at least at this point of time, right? But as I said, in the future, even if AI improves a little bit, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to reach AGI. Even if some automation happens with some reliability, if they can build some guardrails, if they can add in validations to all these models, and people get trained how to prompt very well, people become experts in their domain, then they can carefully craft some kind of man in the middle, kind of an AI automation with human in between, that can improve productivity multifolds, hence resulting in job losses that we can see. So for now, what I would say is that we should see in the next couple of quarters, all these frontier model companies, whether it is ChatGPT or other kind of models, with in addition to subscription models, they are also going to add monetization in their systems to find out this additional revenue stream, and that will be an interesting play to see. It's quite possible that they may even introduce like commerce also, while nobody has done that successfully. But it's quite possible that they may add commerce. That means you can do online shopping on the model itself. That's also quite possible. That is a little bit more futuristic. Companies such as Google, Meta have also tried it, but they have not been very successful in their shopping endeavors. TikTok also, I know they started out something, but they have also not been very successful because, as you know, in any kind of e-commerce, uh, placing an order, booking an order is the easy part. The difficult part is the logistics, like supply chain management and delivering the order, right? Because there is a physical aspect. All these companies that we talked about, these are pure play digital companies. They don't have any delivery or logistics or supply chain, element. So that is why I think while they can introduce commerce, but making it super successful is not part of these digital companies DNA. So you have to be an Amazon or Walmart to be able to run, let's say, a commerce company, right? It's not same as like just running digital company. So all your Meta, Google, OpenAI, these are all pure play digital companies. So that is why the commerce monetization angle is little bit far fetched, but I think advertising monetization angle is pretty near term. And as we as people start questioning that why we are not making money, even though so much investment has gone on all these companies, you will start seeing these advertising start showing up on your cat gpt results, and other kind of models will also have advertising. It's very similar to what happened with Facebook around 2012 when they went public, right? At that time, they did not have any specific revenue stream or monetization stream. Even though Mark Zuckerberg at that point of time said that we are not going to use advertising, but we know they are the second biggest, advertising company in the world after Google, right? All their money comes through basically advertising. So whether you see sponsored posts, whether you see ads, display ads, search ads, etc., all of these are ads basically, right? So Google, Meta both make money through ads, and that's their core engine. So I don't see any reason why all these LLM companies or OpenAI, etc., will not jump onto the advertising bandwagon as well. Uh, this is all I had for today. You should also check out my previous podcast, wherein I talked about ChatGPT versus Google. This is in continuation to that. I did that probably an year, maybe little over an year ago, maybe even 2 years back. I can't recollect exactly when I did that, but you can check it out. And I love to hear your comments. I saw Rasmus made pretty good comments today. Helped me basically dig a little bit deeper into this conversation and explore certain other areas which probably I wouldn't have or I would have missed. So thanks, Rasmus, to asking those insightful questions for me so that I could incorporate that in my podcast today here. But if there are any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them. If not, please write to me, like this, share it, and subscribe it. I hope you're enjoying your time. I am now in India, in Delhi. Monsoon season has started, so enjoying those times. Still a little bit humid out here, but it's great to connect with you all again. Uh, Make sure that you spend your time with your family, eat right, exercise, sleep. And let me read another question. Rasmus, thanks. It was awesome interacting with you live for the first time. Cheers. Same here, Rasmus. Your questions were pretty insightful. It basically gave direction to some of the things that I was thinking, because I do unscripted real time talks. So any input that I get through questions and all, I incorporate it during my conversation. So thank you for asking those relevant questions here. So with that, I'll take your leave, and hopefully we'll connect again in another stream. Do write to me, let me know other topics. Bye.